I'm the oldest of 3 sisters. We grew up in a small town in rural Mississippi, one of those places where everyone knows everyone, and where family comes before anything. My parents were always hard workers. My dad was a bricklayer. My mum made cakes and sweets to sell. We didn't have any luxuries, but we had one thing: unity, or at least, that's what I thought. I, Jessica, always took on the responsibility of helping at home. I started early, cleaning neighbors' houses, taking any odd job that came up, while my younger sisters, Rebecca and Lily, could focus on school. Rebecca followed the right path. Studious, focused, finished school, took a technical course, and got a good job. She married a decent guy, one that every mother wants for her daughter. Lily was different, always was. Kind of rebellious, always complaining that life wasn't fair, that everyone was lucky but her. She never really tried hard, but she always had someone to blame. When I finished high school, I quit studying to work full-time. I got married young, at 18, to a good, hard-working man who treated me like a queen, even without having anything. We led a simple but peaceful life. I continued to help my parents whenever I could, especially after my mother got sick and had to stop working. Even so, she found a way. She started selling popsicles and homemade cookies, just to keep busy. Lily finished high school more or less pushed through, without much prospect. She tried to get into a public college, but didn't pass. She got a job in a small shop in town, and that's where she met an older man. He promised her the world. He said he was going to marry her, that they would give her a house to live in together, that she would never have to worry. I honestly saw on his face that it was all lies, but Lily didn't want to listen. A short time later, she got pregnant. And of course, when she told him, the guy disappeared. He already had another family in another city. He only came for seasons. That's when something changed in her. Looking back now, I see it clearly. The resentment started there. As her baby grew, it seemed that a grudge also grew along with it. A silent hatred of everything and everyone, especially me and Rebecca. It turns out that, at that same time, my husband and I finally managed to get pregnant. We had been trying for years. It was a dream, but Lily wasn't happy. I remember her look well when we told our parents, as if I had taken something from her. Unfortunately, I lost that baby early in the pregnancy. It was a difficult time, but my husband was my rock. We cried together and moved on. Lily's baby was born soon after. Beautiful, healthy. But she didn't seem to care much. My mother practically raised the boy, while Lily continued with that empty, distant face. Rebecca and I tried to talk to her, to make her understand the responsibility she had now. She even started taking care of her son, but without much enthusiasm, as if it were an uncomfortable obligation. Asterisk. A few months later, I got pregnant again. This time, my husband and I decided not to tell anyone until after the 3rd month. After everything that had happened before, we wanted to be sure that everything was okay. When we finally told them, my mother was radiant. Rebecca too, she came to hug me with tears in her eyes. Lily just dropped a cold comment. Enjoy sleeping now, Jess. After the baby is born, your life is over, and your body, forget about it. It won't be the same anymore. Who knows, maybe your husband will find another, right? Those words kept hammering in my head for days. I wanted to believe that it was just her bitterness, that it was nothing more than jealousy. I tried to let it go, as always. A short time later, Lily called me. She said she wanted to apologize for what she had said, that she wanted to have a dinner just between sisters to get closer. that she would prepare everything herself. Rebecca thought it was a good idea, and, despite a strange knot in my stomach, I accepted. She was my sister, after all. I always thought that blood was thicker than water. Asterisk, asterisk, on the night of the dinner, I arrived at our parents' house. Rebecca was already there. Lily greeted us, smiling, almost forced. She said she had prepared a special fish stew, along with a fancy rice. Everything seemed normal, until she started to tell us exactly where each one should sit. I thought it was weird, but I sat down. She brought the plates already served, saying that that one was especially for me, another for Rebecca. I thought it was strange, but I didn't want to be paranoid. We ate, we talked. Lily was incredibly kind, but something, deep down, told me that this wasn't natural, that something was wrong. Asterisk, asterisk, a few days later, the pains began. A strange pressure in my stomach, as if something was pulling me from the inside. I thought it was normal for pregnancy, but in a short time I realized that my belly was bigger than it should be. Much bigger. After that dinner, it didn't take long for my health to start to plummet. At first, I tried to ignore it. I thought it was just normal pregnancy fatigue. But the pains in my belly weren't normal. It wasn't just weight or nausea. It was a pain that seemed to squeeze from the inside, as if something was pushing, scratching under the skin, and my belly was much bigger than it should be for 4 months of gestation, swollen in a strange way. No matter how much I tried not to think about it, every time I looked in the mirror, it was as if something was growing inside me, and I knew it wasn't just the baby. I went back to the doctor. They did ultrasound tests. Nothing seemed wrong. Only on the inside, something was. Each day that passed, I felt weaker. I was short of breath. I started missing work. There were nights when I simply couldn't sleep due to the discomfort. My mother said I was pale, that it seemed that the baby was sucking all my strength. Rebecca came to visit me often, worried, but Lily, after the dinner, she didn't call, didn't show up. She disappeared. Asterisk, asterisk, one afternoon, a friend of mine came to my house. She's very religious, one of those who firmly believe in prayer and spiritual protection. When she saw the state I was in, thin, dejected, without strength, she suggested something that at the time seemed kind of strange, but I was so desperate that I accepted. She asked, "Jess, do you want me to bring my pastor here? He can pray for you, for your house. He can help. What you're feeling, it's not normal. Anything was better than continuing that way." I said yes. Asterisk, asterisk, the next day, in the late afternoon, she returned accompanied by the pastor. He was a simple man with a calm speech. He entered respectfully, and after asking if he could start, he began to walk around the house, praying, anointing doors, windows. He asked us to make a circle in the center of the room, me, him, and my friend. He began to say prayers aloud, asking for protection, warding off any bad presence. I was quiet, listening, but soon I began to feel a strong nausea. You know, that kind of nausea that seems to rise from the guts. My head got heavy, my arms tingling. The pastor continued firmly, and the more he prayed, the more I felt like vomiting. My friend held my hand, realizing that I was getting bad. He continued, with an intense energy, saying that anything bad needed to leave that place, my body. It was getting unbearable. I felt a strange heat run through my face. My vision began to darken at the edges. I tried to ask them to stop. I tried to say that I wanted them to leave, that this was making me worse. But before I could finish the sentence, everything went black. Asterisk, asterisk, I woke up hours later on the sofa in the living room. I was all wet, sweat, maybe vomit. My clothes soaked, the floor. There were strange marks. White, viscous stains mixed with something that, looking closely, seemed to be fish bones. The smell, rotten, like stagnant sewage. My friend was next to me, holding my hand. The pastor, standing, looking at me like someone who had just come out of a war. "Don't you remember anything?" he asked. I shook my head. I didn't remember anything after blacking out. That's when they told me. Asterisk, asterisk, while he was praying, I began to squirm. My voice changed, got thick, hoarse, as if another person was speaking for me. They said that I started laughing, then cursing, telling them to shut up, saying they had no business being there. The pastor didn't stop. He demanded that what was in me identify itself. He asked, "Who sent you? Who put this on her?" I, or rather, that voice, resisted. He said he wasn't going to speak, but he insisted. My friend prayed along. They didn't stop. That's when the answer came out. It was your sister, the youngest one. Asterisk, asterisk, Lily. The pastor continued praying until I began to vomit, which explained the state I woke up in. According to them, in addition to the dark and fetid liquid, whole fish bones came out, some large, some broken. After that, I passed out completely. They stayed with me until I regained consciousness. Asterisk, asterisk, in the following days. It was as if a weight had left my body. The pains disappeared. My belly seemed to have returned to its normal size. I went to the doctor and he said that everything was as it should be. The baby healthy. But inside me, nothing was normal. The only thing that echoed was that voice. It was your sister. Asterisk, asterisk, Lily didn't show up anymore. Not to ask if I was okay. Not to see our mother. She disappeared completely. And no matter how much I tried to move on, every time I closed my eyes, I could only think about the dinner. About how she made a point of controlling where each one sat. About that fake smile. About the feeling that she wanted, really, to destroy me. After that day, everything was silent. The pains had gone away. My belly was normal, the baby healthy. On the outside, it seemed that life had returned to normal. But on the inside, no. On the inside, I felt as if something had changed forever. Lily disappeared completely. Not a phone call, not a quick visit, nothing. My other sisters tried to maintain normality. My parents did everything to pretend that the family remained united. But it was as if a void hung in the air, an absence as heavy as any unspoken word. Asterisk, asterisk, I never told anyone what the pastor said that night. How could I explain that? During a prayer, a voice that wasn't mine clearly said that my sister had bewitched me. That she went to someone, some witch, to harm me. Who would believe it? Even today, I sometimes wonder if I should have confronted Lily, if I should have called her, demanded answers. But deep down, I think I already knew she wouldn't say anything, that she would feign surprise, deny it, distance herself even more. And honestly, I didn't want to hear any more lies. Asterisk, asterisk, time passed. My son was born healthy, strong. My husband was a true pillar during all that. But a part of me never relaxed completely. It was impossible. How to fully trust the people around you after knowing that someone of your own blood wished you harm. Someone who grew up in the same house, shared the same parents, the same meals, the same memories. Someone who smiled in your face and, behind your back, wanted you to lose everything. Asterisk, asterisk, sometimes. I think it was at that dinner that everything started. She made a point of controlling everything. Where each one sat, what each one ate. At the time, I thought it was strange, but I didn't care. How could I imagine? I was raised believing that family is synonymous with protection, that it's those from the outside who can hurt you, not those from the inside. But now, I know it's not always like that. Asterisk, Lily followed another path. I heard that she got involved with another man, someone who's no good, that she lives in function of him, as if she's trying to erase who she was before. My nephew ends up spending more time at my parents' house than with her. I avoid knowing details, perhaps for fear of what else I might discover. Asterisk, after that night with the pastor, I never accepted to eat anything she prepared again. I never accepted any invitations again. I never let anyone choose where I should sit, what I should eat, what I should accept. My limits became clear. And, more than that, my trust ended. Asterisk today. Every time someone talks about blood ties, I smile, but inside I stay alert. Because I learned that the worst kind of evil is not the one that comes from afar, dressed as a stranger. It's the one that's close, knows everything about you, knows your weaknesses, and when it decides to hurt you, it does it in a way that you don't realize until it's too late. Asterisk, I still carry with me one thing that the pastor told me before leaving that night. Not always who smiles at you wants your good, but when evil comes from someone so close, it takes longer to go away. Maybe he was right. Maybe it will never really go away. Some people have asked if I have news from my sister today. She still lives in the same city, but it's as if there are kilometers between us, even living so close. We never talked properly again. I never looked into her eyes in the same way, and honestly, I prefer it that way.